sit up straight. Lengthen up through the side waist, side chest. Move your arm bones back to bring your shoulder blades into your back. Close your eyes. Descend your thighs. With equal and even weight, your two sitting bones lengthen up through the front of your body. Press your shoulder blades into your back ribs to lift your chest. And broaden across your collarbones. Soften your neck and throat. Release your jaw. Rest your tongue into the base of your mouth. Take slow, even breaths. And then gently open your eyes. Come over to child's pose. Press your hips back to your heels. Extend your arms forward. Rest your head. Turn your upper arms out. Turn your lower arms in. Use that ringing action to straighten your arms more and more. And keep that as you come up to your hands and knees. Tuck your toes underneath. Lift your hips high. Come into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press your hands down and forward. Turn your lower arms in. Turn your upper arms out. At the same time, turn your lower legs in. Turn your upper legs out. A little harder to do with the legs. So before class, Karen was asking about bone density things. And
Bones develop at points of impact. So I'm sitting here going through the yoga poses, and the thing is, we don't do a lot of impact. You know, there's jumping, and there's pressure. So here, there's pressure on the wrists, there's pressure on the feet. So weight bearing of any kind would be a bone impact type exercise. But it probably wouldn't hurt to jump from time to time. Or to stay longer in the poses. There's another way you can help your bones is to strengthen your muscles, of course. Even though what I like to do in yoga is a lot of stretching, I think what we need is a lot of muscle building. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Fold forward. As you fold forward, lift your quadriceps up. The fronts of your thighs up, the backs of your thighs up. Place your hands on your hips, elbows to the ceiling. Inhale, come all the way up. All right. Let's do the headless headstand. So you're going to make a cup between your hands. And place your forearms onto the floor. Press your wrist into the floor. And then tuck your toes underneath and lift your hips up. Yeah, you're more than welcome to put a blanket down, or what would work better is to fold your sticky mat so your arms don't slide. And if you need more padding than a folded sticky mat, you could put a blanket in the middle. And this is just too plain easy. Then you could lift your right leg up. Oh, it's easy for a lot of you. Lower your right leg down. Lift your left leg up. Lower your left leg down. Bend your knees. Rest down. All right. Next, we're going to come up into downward dog. And then you're going to bend your elbows and lower your elbows about halfway to the floor and then come back up. All right? And we'll do that a lot. So do that a lot. Whatever that means to you. 3 could be a lot to you. 20 could be a lot to you. We'll bend down, go back up, bend down, go back up. If you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. The closer you are to the floor, the more difficult it is to go back up. And then come up to standing. All right, now this is my latest kick. Somewhat of a pun. All right. So you're gonna have a blanket and you're gonna place it under your hips. You can have more than one blanket for Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. So legs straight up in the air, and then we're gonna lower one leg, and then we'll lower the other leg many times. Just think many. So first with the legs just straight up. Squeeze your legs together. Then with your exhalation, lower your right leg. Inhale, lift it back up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And keep that up. So the same leg over and over again. Attempt to keep both legs straight and be successful in that attempt. Although it's a little harder if your hamstrings are tight because your top leg is lower. So if you want to make it harder, just lower your top leg a little bit. All right, switch legs. And if it makes more sense for you to exhale on the way up, that's fine too. Don't have all your focus on the lowering leg. Have some focus on the top leg to keep it straight. And then bring both legs together. Take a breath. And now you're going to lower the legs maybe halfway to the floor and back up. Or lower. If this is, you have abs of steel, then maybe you're going to lower your legs almost to the floor. Maybe you're just going to lower them a little bit. If you have abs of donut. Try to move with your breath. And then bring your legs back in. Hug them in. Roll to your side. All right. So you can do this with or without a wall, but it's standing splits. So the one where we come into downward dog and lift a leg up. So if you want to do it without a wall, it's more of a strength exercise. If you want to do it with the wall, it's more of a flexibility exercise, although they both require strength. So come into a short downward dog. And then lift your right leg up. Roll your right hip down. Press your left thigh back. Possibly walk in. Keep both legs straight and keep your hips level. Walk out. Switch legs. Roll your left hip down. Take your right hip back, your right thigh back. And then possibly walk back toward your standing leg. Keeping both legs straight. Bring the other leg down. Have your feet directly under, or your ankles directly under your hips, and fold forward. You can grab the opposite elbow, or you can keep your hands on the floor. Place your hands on your hips, elbows to the ceiling. Inhale, come all the way up. All right. You want either 2 tall blocks or a chair or anything you can put your hands on. So the couch, who's still? Chai, you can come up. Maybe Chai is frozen. Oh, there she is. Okay. She was frozen. Okay. So you want something that you can put your hands on a tall block. We haven't done this in a while, but I used to do this all the time. This is like the bird dog pose where we lift the opposite leg and arm, and then possibly the same leg and arm. Balance isn't great today. Okay. So have something in front of you. The taller it is, the easier. To a point. Then it gets easier as you go down lower. So there's this one point where it's more difficult. Stand with your legs together. Place your hands down. Then lift your right leg straight back. Roll your right leg in. Extend through the big toe side of the foot. And then lift your left arm up. Find your balance there. Keep your right leg engaged so it's not floppy. If you notice, just bend the knee for a second and notice just a little bit, it doesn't have to be a lot. Notice how it kind of loses the grip that you need in the back leg. So grip the thigh and kick back with your right heel. Then, this is an option, lower the left hand, lift the right arm up. Lower your right arm, lower your right leg. Then lift your left leg up.
Extend through the heel of the left leg. Then lift your right arm up. So starting with the opposite first. Keep your left quadricep engaged and lift from the area right below the buttock. So the top of the hamstring is what lifts your leg up. And I was talking for quite a while on the other side, so I have to make sure we're holding these the same, even though I don't have as much to say. Lower your right arm down. Lift your left arm up as a possibility. Squeeze in from the outer right hip. That'll help you maintain your balance. Also looking forward helps me. Lower your left arm down. Lower your left leg down. Place your hands on your hips. Inhale, come up. All right. Now, one thing I thought of that at least gets my wrist a little bit of a stretch and a little bit of a strength. So when we grab the blanket and do this, and then this. All right, we're gonna do that over the head. All right. So, I don't know if I have enough space this way. All right, so lift the blanket over your head. All right, I'll get down on my knees so you can see. And then, you don't have to get down on your knees, it's just so you can see. And then turn your wrist down. So you're making this motion with your wrist, and then turn them towards each other. And you'll feel a little bit of a stretch in your forearm, but also some activity in your forearm. Pull the blanket apart. And then lower the blanket down. Okay, well, I'm gonna try it anyway. So I'm gonna stay on my knees so I don't hit too many things. This is where we're holding onto the blanket. We're going up and down. So go up. And then switch directions. And release the blanket. So I put some blocks at the edge of my mat. We're going to do half moon pose from Trikonasana. Since Karen has me thinking about bone density, I'm going to jump, but you don't need to jump. You do what's right for your knees and your hips, your feet. Bring your hands in front of your chest. Take your arms and legs wide. Extend through your fingertips. Press down through your heels. Turn your right leg all the way out. Lift both quadriceps up. Take your right hand down onto the blocker shin. Now here, move your right hip forward. And then take your left shoulder back. All right? Now take your left hand to your hip. Take your elbow, bend your elbow, and take it to the wall behind you. Now you're going to keep that. Now you're going to walk forward. I'm going to actually step back so I stay in the frame. So bend your right leg and shift your weight forward. All right. Now when you do that, you lose some of the turning of the chest. So turn your chest here and move your right hip forward. Then press down through your right heel. Keep your left leg straight, lift it up off the floor. Turn your chest again. Straighten your right leg. Now you can ask yourself, is your elbow pointing to the wall behind you? If not, you need to turn your chest more and move your right hip forward more. Now, I don't know if you guys can see yourselves in the video or you're just seeing me, but if you can see yourself, look at your back leg and ask yourself, is it high enough? Another way you can do that is extend your left arm and see if you can touch your thigh. If it's going down like this, your arm kind of goes off into space. Place your hand back on your hip, bend your right leg, reach back with your left leg, come back into Trikonasana. Press through your left heel, inhale, come up. Change sides. Turn your left leg out. Still gonna be too, what the? Take your left hand down. Take your right hand on your hip. Move your left hip forward. Move your elbow back by turning your chest. Then bend your left leg. I forgot which leg it was. Step in with your right, take your left hand forward. And then when you do this, you lose some of the turn of the chest. So find it here first. Now keeping your right leg straight and strong, lift it off the floor. Then start to straighten your left leg, lifting your right leg a little higher. Rotate your chest. See if you can get that elbow to face the wall behind you. You can check your leg either in the camera or by extending your right arm. And actually in Light On Yoga, this is the way the pose looks. With the arm extended like this, not up high. But I think the video does a little better job. If you're looking in the video, it does not lie, whereas sometimes your leg lies. All right, bend your knee, reach back with your right leg, step back into Trikonasana. Press through your right foot, inhale, come all the way up. Turn your feet forward, take your feet together. All right. If you don't have a wall you can use, you can either balance. We're going to do Ujjita Hasta Padasana. Couldn't remember the pose for a while. So you could do it with a wall like this. or with a strap, like this. Or you could do it freestanding, like this. All right? So know what you're going to choose. You could also do it with a wall with your hand on the wall and your leg lifted. So figure it out. I'm going to turn to the side. So from Tadasana, bend your left leg, reach down and grab the foot, or place the foot on the wall. Press your right thigh back and extend your left leg. So if you're holding onto the toe, the big toe, or the strap, if your foot's at the wall, it should just extend into the wall. But if you're holding onto the toe or the strap, press into the toe or strap. At the same time, the bottom leg has to push back. And then bend your knee. Release the leg down. Bend your right leg. Grab a hold of your foot. Press the left thigh back. So start with the left thigh pressing back. And then as you extend the right leg, the left leg stays extending back. Pressing back, so it doesn't bend. This is what it wants to do, because it helps you lift that leg up. From the lifted leg, extend through the big toe side of the foot and press into the strap or hand or wall. And then bend your knee. Lower that leg down. Okay, so let's see. We need some truth serum. Okay, so you're going to do Supta Padangusthasana, just stage 1. But you're going to take a thin blanket, and I'm going to show under my right leg, but you're going to place it under your leg like this so you can feel something under your leg. So even like when I sit in Dandasana, not all of my leg is on the ground. There's a part under my knee that's not on the ground. This year I've been practicing yoga for 20 years. And I had this theory that after 20 years, the back of your knee goes to the ground. Well, it hasn't yet. Maybe I'm not practicing hard enough. Anyway, so you're going to have that blanket under your leg so that when you lie back, you can still feel the blanket. Now, it won't be as firm. There won't be as much of a feeling, but you're going to continue to feel the blanket when you lift the leg up. So if you lift the leg up and this leg comes up, you will no longer feel the blanket. All right? So you might need a strap. So put the blanket, a little corner of the blanket under your left leg so you can feel it. So there's some tactile response, because we can't always feel the sticky mat or the ground. With the blanket, it gives us a little wiggle room. And then bend your right leg in. And after you bent your right leg in, the left leg may already feel light. So you have to continue to press your left leg down. And you put the strap on the foot or grab the toe, and then lift your right leg up. Then you can bring your right leg as close to you as you wish,
as long as you can feel the blanket. And the solution is not to make the blanket thicker. So this work has to be done in Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, which is this just standing up. All right, just for fun. It's all about fun. All right, so keep your left leg pressing into the ground and take your right leg over to the side. For some of you, this will be more difficult. For some of you, this for me, this is easier to press my left leg down. It's about your left leg, not about your right leg. Although both should be straight. Then bring the leg back to center. Bend your knee. Release it to the ground. Put the blanket on the other side. All right. Find the contact with the blanket and bend your left leg in. Then put the strap around your left foot. And stretch your left leg up. And the amount you can continue to have contact with the blanket, you can bring the left leg as close to your head as it will go. Now, for some of you with tight hamstrings, of course, your leg will stay down just fine, but the top leg won't come over. But this is about the bottom leg. So even if it was bent, you could bring it over. But as long as you can keep the bottom leg where it belongs. And take both sides of the strap into your left hand. And if you happen to have a door there or a wall, very tight quarters in here. I'm sure in your place too. You can take the leg over to the side. And if you ever do this in a corner, it's actually very nice. It's not for today's class. That's more of a restorative class, but it's just incredibly comfortable. Like I'm comfortable right now. All right, lift the leg back up, bend your knee, release it down. All right, you get the idea. I'll assume you get the idea. Stand up. So everyone use a wall in some way so that, let's see, which leg, we lifted the left leg first, so that you can focus on the bottom leg. All right. Lift your left leg up. Not too close. It's harder to measure with the wall in front of you. All right. So with the balance out of the equation, focus on moving your right leg back. Bob, turn your right foot, I actually came to look. Turn your right foot in. Yeah, and actually since you came down, move it in closer to the wall because you were pretty high up. All right, change sides. Lift your left leg up or whatever the other leg is. Yeah. And then the standing leg, press that back. Yeah. Yes. Correct, Chaya. That hip has to go down. That's actually ideal is the stool, but
And then bring that leg back down. Okay. Prasarita Padottanasana. Stand in the middle of your mat. Take your arms and legs wide. Place your hands on your hips. Take your elbows to the wall behind you. Press both thighs back. Lift your chest. Exhale, fold forward halfway. Bring your hands to the floor. Look forward. Then walk your hands back, lower your head towards the floor. Rest the back of your neck. Let the skin of your face relax. But at the same time, press your wrist into the floor and move your shoulders away from your neck. Lift your inner and outer thighs up, but especially the inner thighs. If your shoulders start coming down towards your ears, lift them up again. So you know in this position, it's not necessarily that your shoulders are tired, but you've forgotten about them. Inhale, lift your chest up. Place your hands on your hips. Inhale, come all the way back up. Bring your arms out to the side. Bring your hands and legs together. All right, let's see how this works. So we haven't done this in a while, but this is an appropriate class for this. So some of you will remember this kicking action where I'm gonna try to bring, this is my left leg, and I'm gonna try to bring my left leg to the wall, but not necessarily come up into handstand. So I'm gonna kick with my right, lift my left leg, and then switch legs. So it might be like this, or further up. So do that until you're tired, or until the neighbors downstairs start banging on the ceiling. Yeah, so Chaya, when you do that, bend the other leg. Yeah, so walk it in. Yes. That's correct. Yeah, that's more of the action, correct. And you can see how this has an impact on both your wrist and your feet. Because you're doing it over and over again. So it's a little like jogging, but also with the continued pressure over and over again on your hands. Now you can also do this, Marsha, I should have caught you, in Panchamayurasana. So
right? Yeah. When you've had enough, you've had enough. which doesn't take very long. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, Marsha, when you do that, try to keep the top leg straight. Your especially your right leg is bending a lot. Your left leg is a little better behaved. All right. Let's see. Figuring out time. Okay. We're going to do a quick headstand. So maybe 2 minutes. Usually I do headstand first. If you're not doing headstand for whatever reason, you go back to this pose. Because I don't want you working too hard after all that. I don't want you, that was a lot to be going into headless headstand afterwards. It's a lot on the shoulders. So pick what you're going to do. And then go up. So whatever position you're in, you press your arms into the floor to lift your shoulders away from the floor. Keep your legs engaged. Move your thighs back. Move your buttocks forward. This is only for headstand. That instruction is what I meant. So go back to your shoulders. Are they moving away from your ears? Are you on the center of your head? I feel like I am. Lift through the big toe side of your foot. And then with extra pressure downwards to lift your shoulders up, lower your legs to the floor and rest. Okay, come up and fold your sticky mat if you folded it up. Lie on your belly. Salabhasana. First we'll do Cobra, Bhujangasana. So be on the midpoints of your thighs. All right. And then here, without doing anything above your waist, like this, relaxing above your waist, see if you can engage your quadriceps, but at the same time, move your buttocks toward the grip of the tops of your thighs. That may not make any sense.
But you're gonna lift your legs from that area right underneath the buttocks, underneath where these lovely Puna shorts go. So right at the top of the leg, where the leg meets the buttock. Then keep the grip there. Take your hands by your side ribs, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest, roll your shoulders back some more, and then press through your hands and curl up. What happened to your legs? Are your legs still engaged? If your legs are engaged, chances are, well, you're less likely to feel pain in your back from back bends. Then lower down. Bring the hands by the sides of your body, palms up. Actually, your palms will end up facing your legs. Then engage your legs. So lift your quadriceps up and move your quadriceps towards the backs of your legs as you move the backs of your legs towards the fronts of your legs. That might help you feel that action in the top of the hamstring. Then lift your legs, lift your chest, lift your arms. And your palms can face your legs. Remember from Half Moon, from Ardha Chandrasana, the way the arms were against the legs. The top arm was against the leg. Notice if your legs have gone to sleep, that they're just lifting from the bottom half. Lift from the top half of your legs. And then come down. All right, one more. Engage your quadriceps. Lift from the area right at the top of the leg. Then lift your chest. Then lift your arms. Squeeze your hands toward your legs like an exaggerated version of Tadasana. So keeping your arms straight, imagine bringing your hands closer and closer together. I'm pretty sure I did this on Monday, but I'm not positive because I've practiced since then. Maybe this is what I was going to teach today originally. I don't know what I'm doing. And then come down. All right. Roll onto your back. However you wish to do that. Your Chatushpadasana. Have a block nearby. Put the block either medium or narrow, depending on the width of your legs. Medium will probably work for the most people. I don't think anyone's hips are as wide as the longest way. So with your hips close to your heels, squeeze the block with your legs. So even before going up, your feet should be on the ground. So even before going up, you're squeezing the block with your legs. Yes. And feel that something has to happen in the inner leg. Then bring your hands by the sides of your body. Keep squeezing the block, lift your hips halfway up. Then roll your shoulders under and lift your hips up more. Continue to squeeze the block. So you might even feel some free engagement at the area I've been talking about at the top of the leg, where it meets the buttock. Squeeze in.
So I was thinking the other day about, I've taken some classes and I was listening to this silly podcast where the guy said awesome about 30 times, and I kind of got tired of it. But I was thinking about how many times in Iyengar land we say the word buttocks. And it's probably about 30 times in a class.
Mary, question.
Yeah.
On the squeezing of this block, what are we trying to do? Why would we want the thin block or the thicker block?
Well, you want your legs about hip distance apart. So the thin or thick is depending on the width of your hips. So the idea of squeezing the block is that you feel some engagement in your inner thigh.
Okay.
So when you come up, do you feel like how your legs want to go out to the side? Okay, so that's what the block's for. If you wanted to make this harder, you would use a rolled up blanket because it doesn't give you as much response. Okay, so come down. And then you could set up for either supported bridge pose, which would look something like this. Or shoulder stand. So this would be supported bridge. And shoulder stand, of course, a couple of blankets. So, oh, that's not a bolster. I thought that was a bolster child. If you had a bolster, you could put that under your feet and extend your legs. Or you could just extend your legs, yeah. I can't do that. The fronts of my thighs are not that flexible. So I like them up on something. So have enough room in a shoulder stand to take one leg down for Ekapada. Come up when you're ready. All right, once you're up, push your upper arms down. And then imagine you're doing locust pose, Shalavasana here. So you have to lift, well, it's not really a lift of the legs, but you remember that engagement of the legs where your legs went towards the ceiling. Here, they're going toward your elbows. And you'll notice that they don't go that far. You think your legs are way up in the air, and maybe yours are. Mine aren't. They don't go that far this way, especially when the buttocks are moving forward. So buttocks moving forward, thighs moving back. So you should feel some activity in your hamstring. At the same time,
Soften your neck and throat. Relax your jaw. Rest your tongue into the base of your mouth so that the whole area around your face and neck is soft. Forehead is spreading. The ears are relaxed, which kind of sounds daft. Your ears don't really have muscles, but there's an area at the back of the jaw that is usually felt around the front of the ear that really needs to relax. See if you can relax the whole of the head and neck, but keep the legs firm, working, strong, lifting. Keep the left leg where it is, lower the right leg down. So here, you remember Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, where we had to focus on the bottom leg. Well, here it's the leg that's in the air, towards the ceiling. So see if you can keep that leg steady and strong as your right leg goes down. Then lift your right leg back up. Re-establish shoulder stand. And then have your focus be in your right leg as you lower your left leg down. Keep moving the right leg back and the right buttock forward. And then lift your left leg up. I have this very annoying light on my ceiling. And I know that my leg is moving around because, I told you to keep it steady, but I know that mine isn't. Because now it's somewhat blocking this annoying light. And when I lowered the left leg, it wasn't blocking this annoying light at all. Interesting. So one thing to try in your practice and in your classes is to make shoulder stand twice as long as headstand. Now, I didn't really look at the time, so I'm just going to try to judge. Make our shoulder stand, the headstand was probably 2 minutes or less. I've been having trouble with headstand lately, so I've been keeping my shoulder stand up. If you want to add some variety, keep your time longer in shoulder stand, you can bring your feet in Baddha Konasana. Sometimes moving your legs hither and thither helps you stay longer, keeps your mind engaged. So in Baddha Konasana, notice what your feet are doing. Sometimes they're pointing forward or pointing back. You should be able to see the insides of your feet. I guess they probably won't point forward. And again, here you have to move your buttocks forward and take your thighs back. Slightly different way, but same kind of thing. Then straighten your legs again. And lower yourself down to the floor. That was probably 4 minutes. Those in bridge pose, place your feet on the floor, lift your hips, lower your block to the lowest level. Put your hips on the block. Stay there for a few breaths. Those in shoulder stand, move towards your head side so your shoulders are resting on the floor. And your hips are on the support. Those in bridge pose, remove the block entirely. And then everyone roll to your side and sit up.
So there's a couple things I don't teach a whole lot of, and it's a failing of mine, really. And they're mostly seated poses. Then I get to the end of class, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll throw a seated pose in. All right. So you want to sit on enough height. Now this is something, again, that I need for Marichasana 3. So we're gonna bend and turn. For me, I need a little height under my buttocks, not for the straight leg, but for the bent leg. So I'm not gonna switch my right and left in this. So from Dandasana, bend your right leg in. Hold on to your right knee, lift your chest. And then take your left arm around the knee, take your right hand behind and turn. Now you can take your elbow over your knee like this. That's okay too. Or you can stick with this one. Now I didn't say what to do with your head, other than keep it on your shoulders. So you can try turning your head toward your right shoulder. But as you turn your head to your right shoulder, take your left shoulder back. Then you'll get a stretch along kind of this muscle I was talking about that is right next to the jaw and the ear and all that. And then keep everything where it is, turn your head the other way. So you're looking at your left foot. And then bring it to center and bring yourself around, straighten your right leg. Bend your left leg. Hold on to your left knee, press down to lift up. Then wrap your right arm around your leg, take your left hand behind, turn. So either with the elbow on the outside of the knee or the arm. So I'm doing this primarily for my neck. This is just my personal thing. So I'm gonna keep the arm because when I take the elbow, that tends to roll the shoulder forward. All right, so first I'm gonna look over my left shoulder. And as I look over my left shoulder, I take my right shoulder back, get more of a stretch along the side of my neck. Then I'm going to turn my head to look at my right foot. And bring your head back to center. Turn yourself towards your straight leg. Straighten both legs. All right, you can either stay on the blanket or not for Paschimottanasana with support. So you might have a tall block. You can stay on the support, it's easier for the hamstrings. Press your thighs down, reach forward, grab whatever you're gonna grab, your shins, your feet, your wrist, and rest your head down.
Continue to press your thighs into the floor. This pressure under your head has a relaxing effect. So you probably don't need to focus as much on keeping your jaw and neck soft, because the pressure under the head kind of does that for you. Inhale, come back up. Lie back for Shavasana. So roll your shoulders under. Soften your neck and throat. Release the weight of your body into the floor. Rest your tongue into the base of your mouth. Use the next few moments to focus on your breath. Deepen your breath. Bend your knees. Roll to your side. Lift yourself back up to seated. Take your arms wide, lift your chest. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Think of something you're grateful for. Namaste.